If I was to be any one speaker, it would be Jim Rohn. And anytime I'm set to go out to speak, I'll put on a video and just try and get some of that magic, some of that juice. He could say the same story, the same Girl Scout cookie story, and it never gets old. What is it that makes him such a mesmerizing speaker? You had personal experience with him. Tell me about that.
I'll tell you how much time he would spend on finding the right word. Jim would just reinforce me, always hunt for a better word. It's not even the sentence itself. Sometimes it's the word that lands very differently. The value of the impact of one word can be the difference between a spoon and a hot knife going through butter. When I met him, didn't know who he was, and sat next to him at this event that my uncle was getting Construction Person of the Year at. So I sat next to him at the head table, and this is back in the day when you still had after dinner speakers, and so then they asked him to get up, and I just spent 45 minutes talking to this man, and I felt embarrassed that I didn't know that he was the keynote speaker because he didn't say it to me. And I heard 55 minutes of the best things that my ears had ever heard in my life, and sat back down. So I'd said to Jim that I really wanted to do what he did, and we developed this relationship, and I had to send him a video of me speaking, and then he would ask for another one. He'd give me feedback, and he would say, you speak in platitudes, you'll say things like, mental toughness is critical to the success of an athlete. And he's like, of course you're gonna say that, because you're the guy who's selling mental toughness stuff. So instead, a quick tip for you is, if you're trying to make a point, get someone else that your group of people that you're talking to already respects, and get them to say what you want them to believe. So I started saying, how many of you saw the Michael Jordan interview after the '96 NBA Finals when he had played that entire game with the flu? And in the interview, the reporter asks him, Michael, what is it about you that allows you to put up that kind of performance when you've got the flu, when most other guys wouldn't take the court? And his response back was, it's because I spend twice as much time on my mental game as everyone else spends on their actual physical game. I would play that clip, or I would say those words. So that helped.
I just found his work mesmerizing, and he had maybe 10 or 15 different stories. There wasn't a lot of variety, but it's just mesmerizing. And he always started with the same Girl Scout story, the cookies, all of that sort of stuff. And it never gets old.
People want to hear your greatest hits. You've got people who are in the audience, and they brought a friend to that event, they nudge them and say, oh, you're going to like this one. It creates an insider culture as well.
Such a good point, because as entrepreneurs, we're always looking at, how do I reinvent myself?
Yeah.
What's the next best thing? When a lot of times it's making the most of your greatest hits.